Hey everybody, Backpack Hack here coming at you with another trail tip, and let's talk about keeping water in your vehicle. I've been a big proponent of keeping water in your vehicle for a long time. Water is so valuable to your health and safety and life that it's silly not to have some sort of water in your vehicle. Now, a lot of people are going to default to simple bottled water, and I can't fault anybody for that. But personally, I have several problems with this. First off, I don't trust the plastic. If you're going to use this for long-term storage, is this plastic really going to be the best, or does it leach some sort of chemical into the water? Now, if this is something that you're going to put in your vehicle and drink on a regular basis and constantly replenish with new, I don't have a problem with that. I also don't trust the thin plastic. I can just imagine this breaking open or cracking or somehow spring a leak, and next thing I know, I've got the mess and the damage of water, but then I don't have my water to drink. The next step up would be something like this. This is a 32-ounce Nalgene water bottle, and I would trust this far more than I would trust this. Plus, it contains a little bit more water. I do have one problem overall with plastic, and that is for those of us who live far enough north of the Mason-Dixon line that we have to worry about freezing. You might be able to see a little condensation on this. That's because this came out of the freezer. This is a frozen bottle. This one is empty. I'm going to strongly suggest that if you're going to carry water in your vehicle, you do so in a container like this. Stainless steel with a good sturdy cap. I've been doing this for years and I've never had one of these leak. I've never had one of these break. I've never had one of these fail. Now, I've never tried it with these. Some people will say that this will expand. The punt will actually, that's part of the reason there's a punt in here, is it will expand as that water freezes and contain the water. I don't want to trust that. I would rather have something that I know works, and this works. So now that I have water in my vehicle, but it's frozen, how do I thaw this out? Yes, this is full of ice. Open it up, and I don't know if you can see the ice in there or not, but it's full of ice. It got down to about 4 degrees last night, and I just went out and pulled this out of my truck. So it has ice in it. So the next question is, how do you keep it from freezing? Now, I know some people will carry something like this in their vehicle. They'll take it out of the house, they'll take it out to their vehicle with them, drive to work, and then they take it out and take them to work with it. Now, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But to me, that gets a little bit tiresome, moving water in and out of your vehicle every time that you get it in and out of it. It's fine if you want to carry this to drink. You get up in the morning, you take this with you, you hydrate during the day with this. Before you leave work, you refill it. Don't have a problem with that. That's a great system as well. Just doesn't work well for me. I would rather put water in my vehicle and have it stay there. So how do I keep it from freezing? I don't. I let it freeze. Chances are, by the time I need it, it's going to be thawed out. But what happens if I do need to thaw it out? Some people will say, well, just put it in your coat and use your body heat to thaw it out. That is extremely dangerous. You're in a cold environment and you have limited heat in your vehicle. What happens when you run out of gas and can't run your engine anymore? Your body is going to be the only thing that you have to create heat. And the last thing you want to do is surrender a lot of that heat to melt ice just to drink. Some people will also say, run your engine. Well, that's a very, very inefficient system. You're creating a fire in the cylinders. Some of that heat, not all of it, because a lot of it goes out the tailpipe, but some of that heat is transferred into the engine block. Then that heat has to get transferred to your coolant. That coolant has to be pumped through the piping system to your heater core. And then it has to be transferred to the air, and then it has to be transferred through this into the ice. So even if you lay this up on the dash of your vehicle and run the engine and have your defrosters on high, how long is it going to take to melt this? An hour? 2 hours? I can't imagine. I've never even tried it. So I wanted to come up with a method that I know I could melt this ice. Now, I do carry a get-home bag in each vehicle. And in that bag, I have a small camp stove like an MSR Pocket Rocket or Snow Peak Gigapower, and a little canister of isopro fuel. But I wanted something a little bit more reliable and dedicated to this purpose. And my solution is a simple spirit burner. I wanted something as reliable as possible, and a spirit burner fit the bill. There's no moving parts, there's no valves, it's just a few pieces of metal machined together, and you can't get any more simple than that. When it came to material, I went with stainless steel because this is going to be bouncing around in a vehicle, and I wanted it as sturdy as possible. I didn't need the light weight of aluminum or titanium. To me, brass is a little bit klutchy, although it probably would work, but stainless steel seemed to fit the bill, and I simply purchased this online. I think it was like $12. This is a Lixada, L-I-X-A-D-A, and it works just perfectly well. So you're probably thinking, okay, I've got my stove, I've got my ice, and I will give you a little tip. Moisture is going to get around the seal of this when it freezes and make it darn hard to twist off. Now, you may be able to get a good grip on the bottle, but getting a grip on this lid is a little bit difficult, so I cheat a little bit. I take a little bit of leverage, and that will crack that off. Because I want to take this off because I'm going to be using a stove and I don't want to melt this thing. So now you're thinking, gee, how does that work? If you know anything about spirit burners, you know that's not going to work. So what I did was I ordered a spirit burner. The solution is a cross pot support. This is two pieces of machined stainless steel that mesh together, make a pot support, sits right over the stove, and now I can put my ice on top of it. But I still don't have any fuel, do I? What's my solution for fuel? A lot of people who use a spirit burner will stock up on a canister like this. This is denatured alcohol, sometimes called marine stove fuel. Works great, but carrying one of these in the vehicle is a little bit problematic. First off, this is far too much fuel than I ever need to carry. It doesn't take much to melt one of these. I've actually tested this, and for those of you who are interested, it takes about 22 grams of fuel, and it takes about 40 minutes to completely thaw this if it's solid ice, and I started out at like 3 degrees below zero. So it gives you an idea. Obviously, if it's only 28 or 30, it's going to take less fuel. Or if it's only partially frozen, it'll take less. But carrying one of these is a little bit problematic too. First off, again, this is far too much fuel. Plus, in order to get the fuel out, I've got to open it up. And I really don't trust this lid, this cap, because even though I get it down tight, it's bouncing around in a vehicle and it's not going to tighten anymore. If anything, that vibration is going to lose it. And the last thing I want to do is have this tip over or get on a side or something and have fuel start to leak out, or if nothing else, even if it is sitting upright, fumes are going to escape, slowly but surely. So although this is a great fuel, it's not practical for my use. So my solution is a bottle of heat. Going to that principle that a lot of backpackers and hikers and preppers use of having multiple purposes for the same item, this is a perfect example. Not only does it have its original intention of being a gas line and a freeze and driving water out of your fuel lines, it works as a fuel in a spirit burner. There's also an added advantage of when you buy this, it's sealed from the factory, because even taking the cap off, you can hear it in there. It doesn't leak. It's got that little seal from the factory. So I can put this in the vehicle and not have to worry about it leaking. It also has the advantage of, if I'm in my vehicle, I'm going to be closer to the infrastructure that's going to allow me to find this as opposed to this. So even if I have to use this in my gas tank as its original intention, when it comes time to replace it, stop at any gas station. Because a gas station will have this, and very few stores are going to have this. You're probably going to have to go to a home center or a hardware store to find this. You're not going to find this at your convenience store. So anyway, that is my system for keeping water in the vehicle, and in this case, melting it if I need to. So this is Backpack Hack coming at you with this trail tip. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos. Be safe out there, and I'll see you out on the trail.